Jnanandasya Janandana Shlakaya Chakshurunmulatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Apitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upagadamayam Tadati Shvabadantikam Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Vrinda Panchatatvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudare Pushpavanto Chito Shamutamo Nado Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaur Bhaktavindam Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Hare Krishna. Glorious good fortune, the greatest good fortune that Srila Prabhupada has brought to all of us, to the world in general. He's introduced us all to the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. He's introduced us all to the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan, to the pure message of Srimad Bhagavatam, and continues to do so, and will continue to do so, as long as we remain chaste and faithful to Srila Prabhupada, as much as we can. So this evening we're going to discuss, we're here, I'll do the best we can, topics concerning Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sankirtan movement. The history of this appearance, incarnation of the Sankirtan movement into this Kali Yuga goes back a long time. I mean, we can't really trace time on the spiritual plane. Time does not have the same controlling factors as it appears to in this world. Most of us are trying to control time. As long as we're trying to control time, we cannot really enter into the timeless world. Time is Krishna. It's not our business to control Krishna, but rather to serve time, to utilize our time fully in nicely hearing, chanting, and remembering personality of Godhead, His name, form, pastimes, and qualities. So unknown to practically the whole world, even today, even in India. The position of Lord Chaitanya is a mystery. Most people in the world have heard the name Krishna. Maybe many have heard the name Rama. Lesser have heard the name Radha. But very few, even if they've heard the name Chaitanya, they have very little idea or concept as to who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, what to speak of the Panchatattva, and the nature of the eternal associates of the Lord who appear along with Lord Chaitanya. When Chaitanya or any form of the Lord appears, he doesn't come alone. He comes with his associates and many other factors, his symbols, his weapons, and so on and so forth, to achieve his purpose. So let's go back in story. Many of you are familiar. Some of you have read the Chaitanya Mangala. And there Lochandas Thakur is repeating pastimes from Puranas, Padma Purana, other Puranas, on the appearance of the Lord in this form, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this day of Lord Rama, never did he manifest his form before or after. It's almost inconceivable how on this planet, tiny little earth planet, at this tiny little fraction in a day of Lord Brahma, which lasts a long, long time, 1,000 times at Katha Yuga, the 4 ages combined, which come to over 4 million years. So we're talking of over 4 billion years. And then the same as the night. Altogether, almost 9 billion years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only appears once in this universe. This is very, very unique. And he appears in of all ages, the Kali Yuga, as we know. Normally, this is the most, let's say, inauspicious age. It's full of faults. It's full of hypocrisy, duplicity, quarrel, materialism, and all unfavorable qualities practically. Hardly there is any religious practice, mercy, austerity, cleanliness have basically disappeared by Vedic terms. There's an element of truthfulness which is rapidly declining in the world. We can see it around us on all levels. Practically nobody's interested in genuine spiritual life. So in this age, the Lord has appeared. What we just said, Namo Mahavalinyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Rupa Goswami has approached the Lord with this prayer. Of all the forms of the Lord, you are the most magnanimous. You are giving love of Godhead, which was never given before, freely. Even it's said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, even to those who are not interested or qualified. Lord Chaitanya is nonetheless giving this opportunity. So we'll take the story back. You may be able to hear jackals in the background. There's a lot of jackals around here. In the material world, they cry and they scream. But what benefit is it all? The whole world is crying and screaming, making different claims, and so on and so forth. But what is the point? And Narada Muni was witnessing this. We're going back now, you could say, around about 5,000 or more years. To the time when Kali Yuga would have started a little earlier if it hadn't been for Krishna's appearance, and then consequently the kingdom of Yudhishthira Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj, the Yadavas, they delayed the manifestation of Kali's character, constitution of this age. But still, symptoms were there, and Narada Muni was witnessing them, not just on this planet, but to lesser degrees or more degrees. The effect is there, so in a sense in the universe, it may only be a little bit in the heavenly planets, but especially on the earth planet, Narada Muni was seeing that he was not seeing so much, but he was so worried about the oncoming age. He was getting somewhat depressed almost. How will the fallen people of Kali Yuga possibly be delivered? It's the nature of the pure devotee, Vada Dukkha Dukhi, that they're always concerned for the welfare of others. So Narada Muni was traveling around the universe, but particularly this area around the earth, and seeing how fallen this age is going to be. So he went.
Maharaj, sorry for interrupting. Can you increase the volume a little bit? I'm okay. Some are not able to hear.
I'll get a little closer because I can't increase it any more.
The computer volume or cell phone volume.
Can you hear better?
Yeah, a little better, Maharaj.
Because I can't increase it any more.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, we're in India, don't forget. And normally people speak very loud, but the technology is not always up to the mark. So I would say our internet is probably not as strong. Anyway, we will try to plow on. So now Muni, in a distressful condition, arrived in Dwarka. Prior to this, the Lord had been, you could say, in loving exchanges with Rukmini. But he saw that Rukmini was crying, his foremost queen. He took her on his lap and said, "My darling, why are you crying? Are you still remembering that time when I admonished you? When I tried to, bring anger out of you, threatened to leave you? Are you still affected by that?" Rukmini said, "No, my lord, not at all. That's not the case." "Then why are you crying?" "You do not know why I'm crying, my lord. You cannot understand it." "What do you mean I can't understand?" "My lord, your lotus feet, they are life and soul. We cannot live without your touch, without the sight of your lotus feet. But you're always going away, coming and going. The pain of separation is unbearable. The fear when you're here is even worse. When you're present, we're even more afraid that you're going to go away. It's torture. You cannot understand this, my lord." Of course, we understand that this is the highest ecstasy of Vipulamba Bhava, but it appears to be unbearable. Krishna was completely taken aback. "My dear Devi, what are you saying? I cannot understand this. I cannot understand it." "No, my lord, you cannot understand how the love of your devotees, you cannot understand it. Only if you assume or if you have a feeling of Radharani, Srimati Radhika, will you fully understand my words." The Lord then contemplated. Thus, I will have to take on that form of Radha, the mood of Radha. I must taste. This is one thing I cannot myself. I may be God, but this is one thing I have never experienced. I must experience this. There and then the Lord decided he would take on a form himself, but in the mood of Radharani. At that moment, Narada Muni arrived, feeling somewhat depressed. The Lord received him. Rukmini received him with all respect and reverence. "My dear sage, why are you looking so depressed?" "My lord, I'm so concerned about the fallen condition of the people of this age of Kali. I have no idea. They're not interested in chanting the holy names. How can we help them?" And then the Lord revealed, he revealed to Narada Muni, "I will be appearing very soon in this age of Kali in a magnificent form, never seen before, at least in this day of Brahma. And I will deliver everyone the chanting of the holy name. Do not be depressed. In fact, this Kali Yuga will be the most glorious of all ages. Please now go and spread this news all over the creation and beyond." Narada Muni happily left the palace of Rukmini and traveled throughout the universe, going to the residences of the higher demigods. He came to the residence of Lord Shiva, to Lord Brahma, delivering the wonderful news, and they were swooning in ecstasy to hear that the Lord would appear in this unbefore-seen form and to deliver the most greatest gift of all, love of God, not just the Yuga Dharma, but the perfection of existence. Prema, or love of God. Everyone was overwhelmed. Wherever he went, the news was well received. He entered into the spiritual realms, to Vaikuntha, to Niladri, to Ayodhya, ever he went, spreading the good news of the Lord's appearance. And eventually he came to Goloka Vrindavan, the abode of the Supreme Lord in his most intimate form. And he came right into the association of Radha and Krishna in the groves of Raj, falling and swooning at their lotus feet. And the Lord picked him up and confirmed his appearance in this age to Narada Muni. And he revealed Radha and Krishna transformed into the golden form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Narada Muni was overwhelmed in ecstasy. He could not practically keep conscious. Then the Lord picked him up and spoke in the form of Gauranga. My dear Narada, my dear Narada, I will appear in this wonderful form in this age of Kali. You will also appear and assist me in this age. I will come to deliver all the sinners of Kali Yuga, and those sinners that try to escape from my mission or my presence and flee to foreign lands, he said. I will send more Sena Pati Bhakta. I will send my chief field commander, who will go all over the world to deliver all the fallen souls throughout the whole world. With a chopper of Nama Sankirtan, I will cut out all the sinful proclivities or desires of the living entities, and I will deliver prema, love of God. And so Narada Muni, in great ecstasy, returned to the earth planet to spread the glories. He informed all the demigods of his darshan with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And it goes on, especially when he came to Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was so blissful to see him return. And they remember the great pastime, which we won't go into, of the Mahaprasadam of Lord Narayan, which Narada Muni had previously brought to Lord Shiva, and how Parvati had become enraged that there was not even a speck of Maha for herself. And she vowed there and then that unless every living entity in the universe could receive the Lord Narayan's Mahaprasadam, she would practically destroy the universe in her Adi Shakti form. So Lord Narayan himself appeared on the scene, appeased her, and promised that he was going to appear in this golden form, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, to make sure everybody could get this opportunity to receive love of God, the mercy of the Lord. And of course, he also appears as Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. So in this way, the scene was set, just a matter of time. And when the time came for the Yuga Dharma avatar to appear, the Lord appeared on the calling of Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur and other devotees in this place where I am now, here in Mayapur Dham. He appeared as the son of Mother Sachi and Jagannath Mishra. And then the history unfolds. We haven't got time to expand much on that part of Lord Chaitanya's wonderful, merciful pastimes as a child. But basically, he was enjoying his childhood pastimes as he did in Vrindavan with his cowherd boyfriends who had appeared as students and scholars in Navadvip and other residents of Navadvip. He was enjoying those pastimes like anything as a child, frolicsome child, a mischievous child, and so on. We will jump forward. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he was married. Nimai Pandit was married by Mother Sachi after the departure of Jagannath Mishra to Lakshmi Priya. And then when Lord Chaitanya went to East Bengal, unfortunately, his wife, Lakshmi Priya, in separation, left the world. On returning, Mother Sachi requested him to marry again, and he married Vishnu Priya Devi, his eternal consort. So in that situation, when he was in Bangladesh, he had the great good fortune of coming across Ishwar Puri. He actually started his Sankirtan external, the internal purposes we briefly mentioned, to taste the love of Srimati Radharani. But that's confidential. His external purposes, now ultimately, of course, that's the essential purpose of his appearance. But from the external purpose to spread the Sankirtan movement, to connect everyone, to give everyone the chance to drown in the ocean of Sankirtan. He came for these two purposes. There's a nice verse. Now, I don't know how to share things on my screen, so I can't do that in a moment. So there's a beautiful verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita which goes, Dui hetu avatali lana bhaktagan, apaneyashvari prema nama sankirtan, svedvareya chandale kirtan sanchare, nama prema malaganti paraila sangsare. That's if you want to know, is the Adi Lila, 4th chapter, text 39 and 40. Where Krishnadas Kaviraj says why the Lord appears. Thus, with two intentions, the Lord appeared with his devotees and tasted the nectar of prema with a congregational chanting of the holy name. Thus he spread kirtan, even among the untouchables. He wove a wreath of the holy name and prema with which he garlanded the entire material world. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's unlimited mercy. So in that way, he actually, in one sense, initiated Tapan Mishra in the chanting of the holy name as his first, you could say, Sankirtan follower. But then he returned to Bengal, to Nadia, got married, and he went to perform a certain time before this, in between the two, before he married Vishnu Priya. He went to Gaya, and when he went to Gaya, his intention was to perform Shraddha on behalf of his departed father. But that didn't, it took place. But the main reason for his going wasn't just to see the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu there in the temple, but his main reason was to take initiation from Ishwara Puri. And this is the key turning point, we could say, in the Lord's manifest pastimes. After accepting initiation from Ishwara Puri, Lord Chaitanya, or Nimai Pandit, was no longer the wrangling Pandit and the mischievous, frolicsome lad. He became, by the, of course, the prayers of the Advaitacharya and Srivas Thakur and others, they were always, if only Nimai would become a devotee, what a devotee he would be. We can't take our eyes off him. He's so beautiful. His character is so sublime. So they were hoping for this. And it took place when he went to Gaya and took shelter. Although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, still he takes this position of accepting initiation from his devotee, Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri basically, like an instrument almost, accepted this role. And now I think we can share, if I have a little help from my friends, we could probably share this on the screen. Let's see if we can do it. Anyone there? 470. Here we go. I'll start there. I'm going to try, but I may not succeed. Share the screen. The holy name. You got it. There we go. Will that come on? I don't need to have my picture on. They won't be able to read it if my picture's on there. Share. Tell me if you can see anything.
You can see, Maharaj.
Where do we put on to? Cannot.
You can see the mantra.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
But you can see.
I don't know. Can you
We can
still
read,
see?
Maharaj. You can see.
You can see it.
Yes,
So
yes. Yeah.
we're
Krishna mantra haite hoibe.
yeah, we are now in Gaya. Some of you have been to Gaya, famous nearby the seat of the Buddhists, but it's also a famous place of pilgrimage for Hindus. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there with Ishvara Puri, and I don't know if we'll be able to easily go on to the next slide. I'll try, but this is well, I've just selected a few of these statements of Ishvara Puri. I won't read the Sanskrit because you can see it there also. And you can see what the reference is. Ishvara Puri says, this isn't the first thing he said, but we're just going to take it up in the essence of the actual initiation, you could say. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can obtain freedom from material existence. It's not just freedom from sinful reactions. That's not what Lord Chaitanya came for. Freedom from material existence. That means the root, the very root itself, our false identity, our separatists, our desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, desire to enjoy sense gratification of any kind, whatever it may be, but free from the cause of our material entanglement, not just the reaction, but the cause. Indeed, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, that's a very rare opportunity, although people may go to the temple, which is nice, and then seeing the deity and seeing the feet. We may say as we wish, but what are we seeing with our blunt material senses, our covered consciousness? Something is there, some image of some kind on our hearts is there, but it's not the perfection. So I'll see if I can go to the next slide. It looks like, can you see the next slide or not? Can you see?
Yes, Maharaj, we are seeing.
A new slide has come on?
Yes.
Nam Vinu
774. Yep.
Navinu Kali Kali Nahiyara Dharma Sarva Mantrasara, the very famous line, Sarva Mantrasara Nam, the essence of all Vedic hymns. Sarva Mantrasara Nam. In this age of Kali, there is no religious principle other than the chanting of the holy name, which is the essence of all Vedic hymns. This is the purport of all scriptures. Now, this is Ishvara Puri speaking. We'll go on. And then he spoke this verse, there's one or two in between. Lord, it said, then, actually, this is Lord Chaitanya speaking. He's repeating, actually, what he heard from his spiritual master. He's talking to the Mayavadis in Varanasi. Now, this comes later in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, but whatever, the actual pastime is later. So this is a summary of it anyway. Hari Nama, Hari Nama, Hari Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, 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 Katiranyata. For spiritual progress in this age of Kali, there is no alternative. There is no alternative. There is no alternative to the holy name. The holy name of the Lord. This comes up several times in CC. You'll see this reference 17th chapter there, but it's also in the 7th chapter when he was discussing with the Mayavadis. You may be pleased to know that very soon the BBT is going to reprint a little book called Lord Chaitanya in 5 Features. And that is actually nothing but the 7th chapter of the Adi Lila. And it's such an important chapter in understanding Lord Chaitanya, his Sankirtan movement, the importance of the Panchatattva, the truth of the Veda, Veda Veda Tattva, on all the various truths and philosophies which, let's say, remain a mystery to most people. Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. For spiritual progress, we all have heard this over and over again. For spiritual progress in this age of Kali, there is no alternative, there is no alternative, there is no alternative to the holy name, the holy name, the holy name of the Lord. And he goes on, Krishna Nama Mahamantrera, Eta Svabhava, Ye Jape Tara Krishna Upajay Bhava. Lord Chaitanya had reported, actually, that since he was chanting the holy name, he didn't know what was going on. He felt like he was a madman. He was going crazy. So Ishvara Puri replied, it is the nature of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra that anyone who chants it immediately develops his loving ecstasy for Krishna. We may wonder, what's happening? I've been chanting. I calculated about a month ago that I've chanted about 1 billion names in the last 54 years, chanting more than 16 rounds a day in the kirtans and this and that. More than 1 billion names. Where's the ecstasy? Where's the love? And maybe there's a little qualification there, a little bit of character or attitudinal characteristics involved too. But nonetheless, somehow or another, it's not that we chant 54 years the same mantra with nothing at all. Mercy of Prabhupada, something is there, although it may be very shallow. Something is there. So what is the reason that we're not tasting any ecstasy? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself gives the answer as to why we're not experiencing ecstasy while we chant the holy names in his Sikshastakam prayers. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrapita Niyamata Akshmadanena Kalaha. You've invested all your transcendental potencies in the holy name. Everything is there. Simply by chanting the holy name, we can attain all the results of everything else. But unfortunately, I have no taste for chanting the holy name, he says, because of offenses. Quite simple. We all know that. And we, at least theoretically, and we all know how difficult it is to chant without offense, especially inattention. But this is our condition. It takes time. Can you see the next one? Nachagao Bhakta Sangi Kara Sankirtan Krishna Nam Upadeshi Tara Sarvajan. My dear child, continue dancing, chanting, and performing Sankirtan in association with devotees. Furthermore, go out and preach the value of chanting Krishna Nam, for by this process you will be able to deliver all fallen souls. So he's not just telling him now, chant the holy name, and spontaneously you may start dancing and experiencing ecstatic symptoms, but go out and preach the chanting of the holy name, for by this process you will be able to deliver all fallen souls. This is the order of Ishvara Puri. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, the words, basically speaking, are coming from Lord Chaitanya through Ishvara Puri. Say this, my spiritual master taught me a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the essence of all the Bhagavatam's instructions. Therefore, he recited this verse again and again. Now, this is not a very, you could say, common verse. Frankly, I've never heard anyone quote it in a class, but I'm sure it has been quoted. But it's a rather, you could say, hidden verse. I won't read it. You can read it yourself. When a person is actually advanced and takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is very dear to him, he is agitated and loudly chants the holy name. He also laughs, cries, becomes agitated, and chants just like a madman, not caring for outsiders. So Ishvara Puri said this is the essence of all the instructions of the Bhagavatam, to chant the holy name, of course, with purity, attentively, without offense. And this then becomes the result, that one becomes completely oblivious to any respect, name, fame, etc., etc., and absolutely immersed in the nectar of Namseva, of the rasa, Namaras. You have your Namarasa there. And this is the translation. It's actually from the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, text 40. This is another translation given there, more literal maybe. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead. Then the devotee is fixed in his vow as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As his heart melts with ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly or cries or shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to public opinion. You have a small, let's say, reflection, temporary reflection out in the world when somebody gets what they want. They sometimes become oblivious. Like if your child is away, you don't know where he is or she is, and you're so concerned, and all of a sudden they come back. You forget about everything else. Your life just goes into a completely different world. Overwhelmed, and we can't say ecstatic, but intense feelings, emotional feelings overwhelm one. And one doesn't care for anything else in the world, practically speaking. Your child has come home. You're so ecstatic. It could be any topic, but you get the idea maybe. But this is a little different. This is an absolute experience. It's not something that happens just for a few moments. And then he carries on. No, he doesn't. This is another verse which confirms our previous point. Simply chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without offenses vanquishes all sinful activities. Thus, pure devotional service, which is the cause of love of Godhead, becomes manifest. I'm just going to plow through them. I don't have time to back and forth here. And then there's a very famous verse, which is spoken or by Krishna Das Kaviraj, which he puts in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Raising my hands, he says, everyone please hear me. So we've heard the importance of chanting Hare Krishna. There are many verses in Chaitanya Bhagavat particularly, which emphasize specifically not just the holy name, but the chanting of the Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It's not directly mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Curious to know why. But anyway, somehow or another, it's not directly mentioned. But in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is. Everyone please hear me, Krishnadas Kaviraj says. String this verse on the thread of the holy name and wear it on your neck for continuous remembrance. And I'm sure most of you know what that is. And this is primary characteristic or qualification of of chanting the holy name, service to the name. Okay, well, we don't know why it didn't come up, but you know what it is. Trinada pisa nichena, tarora pisa hishtana, nanina manadena kirtaniya.
Sadahari.
That is the most important verse in a sense, as Kaviraj Goswami says. Stirring it around, constant remembrance, humility, lower more than the straw on the street, tolerance more than a tree, respect to all others, no matter what, and never expecting any respect from others. In such a state, one would constantly chant the holy name of the Lord. Quite something. And that is a session in itself. There's no time to delve into that. But we'll just plow on with a few more quotes here. Let's see. I can't remember. This is to the residence, if I'm not mistaken, this is to the residence of Kulina Gram, who would come every year. Every year. They would come to Jagannath Puri to see Mahaprabhu and perform the Rath Yatra festival. And they would ask Satyaraj Khan and others who would every year ask the Lord almost the same questions. How can we are grihastas, how can we attain perfection, and so on. And in this case, the Lord replied, you should engage yourself in the service of the servants of Krishna and always chant the holy name of Krishna. Very important verse, it's one worth memorizing. If you do these two things, you will very soon attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet. Two specific instructions of Lord Chaitanya. replying to the residents of Kulinagram. I could read a lot about that, but I don't think our time is time flies. I haven't even started on the essence of the subject yet. But that's the nature of Krishna Katha. It never ends. And this is a famous, famous verse. In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatara. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this is certainly delivered. Keep that in our minds and our hearts when we chant the holy name. It is the form of Krishna himself. There's a famous verse, which Lord Chaitanya also quoted. Namachintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. That the holy name is complete, full in itself. All the opulences, potencies of the Lord are fully present in the form of the Nam. And it's not just a Nam, but it's Nami, Nami. It's the original name. Binatvan Nami Namino. It's the original name of the Lord from which all other names spring or emanate. The original name. We don't sometimes remember how fortunate we are. Unfortunately, we're not taking, you could say, as much advantage of that as we, at least I'm not, as we should, of realizing that we're actually getting the opportunity to associate. Purifying our heart, we'll realize it. Krishna's there, but unfortunately our hearts are covered. We cannot fully experience his presence. But anyway, in this age of Kali, the holy name, the Hare Krishna mantra, is the incarnation. Many times people ask this question, well, why doesn't God come? He says to Arjuna, yada yada hi dharmasya, and so on. Why doesn't he come in this age of Kali? Well, he has come. And he hasn't just come and gone. He's here in this most merciful form. We just have to take shelter of the holy name. Is surely all that be. And here we have, okay, this is interesting. In a discussion with a Varanasi Brahmin, when Lord Chaitanya was in Varanasi, there was one devotee Brahmin there who was very disturbed by the fact that Prakashananda Saraswati and the Mayavadis were very prominent, were not interested in the Sankirtan. They didn't want to chant Krishna's name. So Lord Chaitanya said to that Brahmana, the Lord's holy name, his form and his personality are all one and the same. There is no difference between them. Since all of them are absolute, they are all transcendently blissful. Don't worry. They chanted the name Chaitanya by various means because it's a sannyas name. But they couldn't chant Krishna's name, but later on, of course, they got the opportunity. The Lord's name is not different than himself. And this is the verse which Lord Chaitanya also quoted. Namachintamani Krishnas. Another famous verse, I think in the teachings to Sanatana Goswami, I'm not sure. Dharma Pravartana Kari Brajendra Nandana. Lord Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, personally introduces the occupational duty of the age of Kali. He personally chants and dances in ecstatic love, and thus the entire world chants congregationally. And in relationship to Haridas Thakur, of course, Lord Chaitanya personally made the Namacharya of the holy name. What a position to have. The Yuga Dharma is chanting. The process of attaining prema is through congregational chanting. And he made Namacharya Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya, the teacher of the holy name. And he was born in a family, a Muslim family, of course, considered to be, not eligible, you could say, to participate in the Hindu temple rituals and what have you, not accepted by people in general as an authority of any kind. But Lord Chaitanya elevated him to the highest position of all, Namacharya. And then the last days in this world, Haridas Thakur was decided he wanted to leave the world because he knew Lord Chaitanya was about to wind up his pastimes, so he didn't want to see the final pastimes. He wanted to leave. Lord Chaitanya didn't want him to leave. There was a little debate went on between the two. But Haridas won the debate. Whatever you desire, whatever mercy Krishna bestows upon you, what can I say? And then Lord Chaitanya said, because Haridas Thakur was saying, my Lord, they thought he was sick. There's nothing wrong with my body. The problem is my mind and intelligence. So the Lord asked him, tell me, what is your actual sickness? My sickness, my Lord, is I cannot finish my rounds. Well, he had more than 16 rounds, as we all know. His role was constant chanting, Kirtaniya Sadahari, 100 and whatever it is, 3 lakhs of names, 64 rounds times 3. Whatever that is, 192 rounds of whatever it comes to. You have preached, he said, Lord Chaitanya said, you have preached the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, and in this way freed all living and moving and non-moving living entities from material bondage. You've already done your service. There's no need to worry. Anyway, it goes on. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually spoke this verse also in regards to one time when he was with Haridas. Lord Chaitanya was feeling very, almost like sad to see, okay, the human beings are chanting. But what about the non-moving living entities? What hope do they have? And Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, do not be in anxiety. Even the non-moving living entities, when the holy name is chanted, there is an echo. This is the non-moving living entities chanting back. That was his response. They will be delivered by the loud chanting of the holy name. The trees, the stones, and all other creatures, insects, just like when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he left Jagannath Puri to go to Vrindavan, he was traveling there with Balaba, what's his name? Balaba Bhattacharya, whatever his servant's name was. He was traveling through the forest of Jharkhand, a jungle in those days, full of wild animals. Oh, maybe I can read something from that. Let me just see. Yeah, that would be nice. Just read a few lines from that wonderful pastime of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Jharkhand forest. When the Lord passed through the solitary forest, chanting the holy name of Krishna, the tigers and elephants, seeing him, gave way. When the Lord passed through the jungle in great ecstasy, packs of tigers, elephants, rhinoceros, and boars came, and the Lord passed right through them. Balabhadra Bhattacharya was very much afraid to see them, but by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's influence, all the animals stood to one side. One day a tiger was lying on the path, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, walking along the path in ecstatic love, touched the tiger with his feet. The Lord said, chant the holy name of Krishna. I don't recommend you imitate this if you happen to see a tiger lying on the streets of Edison or something. You probably won't, hopefully, but don't, even a dog, you have to be careful. The tiger immediately got up and began to dance and to chant. I don't know how tigers chant. Krishna, Krishna. After another day, while Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was bathing in a river, a herd of maddened elephants came there to drink water. While the Lord was bathing and murmuring the Gayatri mantra, the elephants came before him. The Lord immediately splashed some water on the elephants and asked them to chant the name of Krishna. The elephants, whose bodies were touched by the water splashed by the Lord, began to chant, Krishna, Krishna, and dance and sing in ecstasy. I don't think that's the way an elephant would chant, but then some of the elephants fell to the ground and some screamed in ecstasy. Seeing this, Balabhadra Bhattacharya was completely astonished. Sometimes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted very loudly while passing through the jungle. Hearing his sweet voice, all the does came near him. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, chant Krishna, Krishna, the tigers and deers began to chant, Krishna, Krishna, and dance. When all the tigers and does danced and jumped, Balabhadra Bhattacharya saw them and was struck with wonder. Indeed, the tigers and deers began to embrace one another, and touching mouths, they began to kiss. That's just a little indication of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how all living entities, you could say, transcended, shed off their material condition, even if they're in animal bodies or tree bodies or stone bodies, whatever. And one time, one devotee said to Srila Prabhupada, you were doing even more than Lord Chaitanya. He only was in India, but you've gone all over the world. And then Srila Prabhupada said, no, not at all. Lord Chaitanya was delivering all the animals in the forest of Jarikanda, and the devotee said, but Srila Prabhupada, it's in New York, you were delivering the Dupadi Pashu, the two-legged animals in the jungle of New York. It's like a jungle. Huge buildings all around you. Dangerous place, very dangerous. Materially today, cities are no longer safe. Danger, wherever you go, practically. So in this way, recognizing the incredible service that Srila Prabhupada has rendered, the holy name of Krishna is so attractive that anyone who chants it, including all living entities, moving and non-moving, and even Lord Krishna himself, becomes imbued with love of Krishna. This is the effect of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. I won't read the rest because there's so much to read and our time is short. I'll just mention a few things in regards to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, we have all heard about his journey through South India after he took the sannyas order of life and was madly traveling around with a few associates on his way to Shantipur and then on to Puri, singing and singing. What is he singing? Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 Rakshamam, Rama Raghava, Krishna, 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 Rama Raghava, whatever. Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Lord Chaitanya was going everywhere. My dear Lord, please protect. Well, the Lord is the protector of everyone, but he's still in this mood of a devotee, in the mood of taking shelter of the holy name. Please protect us. What is it the Lord is protecting? We often cry out for, save me! Oh God, save me! Krishna, help me! Usually for some, let's say, relative reasons. But the real protection is to protect our devotion, protect our consciousness, that we not become overwhelmed. This material energy is so strong. Even when it comes to inattention while chanting the holy names, there's a very nice statement by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I think, that it is impossible, he says, for the jivas, probably in the Harinam Chintamani, I don't have the reference here, it is impossible for the jiva to single-handedly overcome the illusion of inattention. It is only possible by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, one should fervently call out and cry for the Lord's mercy, that we're not inattentive while we're chanting the holy names. This is the secret. We can try all kinds of techniques and good, so all good and well, but the real essence is the mercy of Krishna. We have to cry for his mercy. And unless we're actually like Haridas Thakur, famous prayer, probably can't remember, how does it go? Dasa Aparada, I've forgotten it. He goes on, my dear Lord Mahaprabhu, please, I pray to you, please protect me from the illusion of inattention and absorb me always in the mood of namaras, pure service to the name. Even he's praying like that. So what to speak of the likes of us? I can show it. I can give that verse. If I look, I've got it somewhere. Anyway, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this way he was going everywhere. He came, after he left Puri, it said that he would go village to village, and wherever he went, he was like a transcendental magnet. People were drawn. And he would immediately say, chant, Hare Krishna, and everybody would chant. We don't have that potency. At least we can try. And even if they don't chant, they may hear. Some Agyata Sukriti is there. Some good fortune enters into their ears. Even if they don't like it, some fortune is there. So important is the Nam Sankirtan Yogya. Not only that, it purifies the entire atmosphere. It's the Yuga Dharma. The whole world benefits from the Sankirtan performance, especially when it's done in public, in the streets, the markets, wherever we can, through social media, some way or another, try to expose people to the holy name of Krishna. And people would start dancing and chanting in Mahaprabhu's presence, seeing the Lord dancing in ecstasy. And then they would go back to their own villages and they would themselves still be chanting and dancing. And everyone else in the village would start dancing and chanting. And other people would then go from that village. In this way, it was like a domino effect. Everywhere the holy name was being spread by being infected. It's like a virus, like a very contagious virus, much more contagious than COVID, much more contagious. As soon as you got it, that was it, all over. And wherever you went, everyone else got it. And then they passed it on. This is the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ocean of mercy, drowning everyone in the ocean of mercy. He came to Kurmakshetra. When he reached Kurmakshetra, which is not so far, it's in between Puri and Vidyanagar or Vishakhapatnam, in between. He came to Kurmakshetra, and there he met with a famous Brahmin. He's known as the Kurma Brahmin. That's his name, but that was how he's addressed. And of course, as a loving relationship went on there, and Lord Chaitanya gave him such important instructions. Yada Deki Tara Kara Krishna Upadesh, Amara Gaya Guru Tara Nidesh. Stay where you are. Stay there in New Jersey and imbibe the message of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and just try to understand these scriptures and then preach this message. Preach it to it. Become a guru and preach it to others. The message of Godhead. You don't have to go anywhere. Stay where you are. And then as Lord Chaitanya then left, in the meantime there was one leper named Vasudev Vipra. He was a Brahmana by birth, but he became a leper. And he was basically, ostracized, you could say. He had to keep a distance from society because of his disease. And he got to hear that Lord Chaitanya had arrived in Kurmakshetra. So he, as fast as he could, he hurried to the place, hoping he would be at least see from a distance. But Lord Chaitanya had already left. He knew the Kurma Brahmin. And he fell down on the ground, crying and crying. And the Kurma Brahmin told him that Lord Chaitanya had already left. Crying and crying, helpless. Felt like his life was absolutely meaningless. There and then, Lord Chaitanya appeared in front of him. Due to his intense love, the Lord appeared. And the Brahmin swooned in ecstasy after her Muslim friends were having their, what do you call it? I don't know. Their sunset, late night prayers. So it may be a little background sound. But there and then, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then picked up the leper, embraced him in his arms, although there was, sores, oozing sores. The Lord embraced him, and on the spot, Vasudev's body transformed into a beautiful Brahminical form. Stunned, he fell at the Lord's lotus feet, and he begged the Lord, "My Lord, please save me, please save me." What, you've already been saved? What do you mean? You've been saved. You have no more leprosy. Most people would think like that. No, my Lord, I'm so afraid of becoming proud. I'm so afraid now this may get known by others and people will all be talking about me. I'll become proud. Please save me. Protect me, my Lord, protect me. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, simply chant constantly the holy name of the Lord and serve all the devotees. In this way, you will not be affected by pride. Those are his words to Vasudeva Vipra. In this way, I think our time is now up. We are finished. But this is the mood of Lord Chaitanya. He gave the holy name to everyone, those deserving, those not deserving, those wanting, those not wanting, to everyone, man, woman, and child, even to the animals. This is the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. So we can try to follow in that footsteps. Obviously, we don't have the realization, we don't have the purity, we don't have the conviction, but we can try to at least show our appreciation to Srila Prabhupada for coming. As you know, 60 years ago, now 61, but 60 years ago, he incorporated ISKCON officially in New York, we almost the place you were living, and the whole world since then. Then nobody knew what was happening. Now the whole world practically is aware of the Hare Krishna movement, far distant corners of the world, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Let us show him that when he arrived in Boston, he himself declared, I have no devotion, I have no knowledge, I simply have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. This is the mood of a devotee. He doesn't think I have anything to offer other than what my spiritual. That's why it said, the spiritual master's mercy is all that I am made of, because it's simply by his mercy we have this opportunity to be a part of spreading Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. And this is what Lord Chaitanya ordered everyone to do. Pritiviti achiyati nagaradi gram sarvatra pachoravive moranam. And there's actually, funny enough, that's not the actual verse. The actual verse, you won't find that verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat or Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Maharaj. The verse which is there, which is in Chaitanya Bhagavat, is Prithvi payanti yata achidesha gram sarvatra sanchara haibe kamoranam. In every town and village of the world, the chanting of my name will be heard. And Lord Chaitanya said to the residents of Kulinagram, chant the holy name, but hear the holy name. Hear it. Take the holy name and hear the name. Hear the name. It's not just about chanting, it's about hearing. The hearing factor will transform our consciousness, although it will be a very slow process. Hearing. But try to hear very carefully. Hare Krishna, well, we'll escape from that. And I don't know if you can see me or not. I've got no idea.
We can see you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for giving us the essence. Vaishnav Seva Nama Sankirtan. Keep on being distributed.
There, just reminding us, that's all. We don't find anything, we don't give anything, we just try to remind each other of what's already there, that's all.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Just trying to help remind each other of what's going on. Okay, well, it's 7:30 over here. I guess it's 9 o'clock over there.
Yes, Maharaj, 9:05. Go ahead, quickly. Prem Kishore Prabhu, then Balram Nithai. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Nice to see you on the screen.
Who is speaking? I don't know who's speaking.
Premakishore Das. I put my camera on.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. It was very touchy, Guru Maharaj, like about when you said you chanted for 54 years and still you are trying to find the taste. It was really heart touching. Where I see you as
maybe not very good, not a very good, let's say, impression.
yeah, but it's calling the mood of the way you called out of the way the chanting should be done in the pain of separation from the Krishna, and also of the real gratitude which you need to show. That was that we do not have that kind of a love of Godhead. And with that gratitude, recognizing the holy name is real incarnation of Krishna's name, right? So towards the direction, you also stated 2 points. It will strengthen the devotion. One, it all depends on the platform where we are chanting without any offenses. you just ended up with saying that not only chant here, it all depends on what you hear, your progress of your spirituality or the bhakti. Especially the chief of the offenses is the inattention, right? Inattention or the chant with more humility, and which was more touching is about the every movement we chant and also how you serve the devotees and the as a servant, right? Engaging in the service of the servants of Krishna and associated with them serving to attain ourselves in the growth to have a more purified chanting. So this is only realization, not the question. So just take gratitude to show and seeing you on Zoom call. Okay. Hare Krishna.
One thing that the chanting in separation and the mood of the pure devotees of there, or we heard a little bit about the initial causes of Chanya's appearance, the feeling of separation of Rukmini, and the pain of that feeling, even the fear of separation, brings a transcendental pain, which we don't experience, I don't think, at least I don't. But we do experience pain indirectly, because when we're connected to Krishna and we're chanting offensively, we feel pain. It's not the same quality by any means, but we remain in this, let's say, impure state of consciousness, which remains, I mean, there has to be some pain, otherwise we'd never get out of it. So the pain that we sometimes experience is all related to try to encourage us, to try to remind us of the nature of the material world, to spur us on, you could say, to try to become a little bit more attentive, a little bit more surrendered, a little bit taking more shelter of Krishna and the holy name. Otherwise, the pain will continue. Depression, frustration, whatever it is, lack of, no one's respecting me. Why is this happening to me? And the list goes on and on and on. These things, since I've been chanting Hare Krishna, blah, blah, blah. But, Krishna's mercy, his protection is to release us from conditional devotional service, to release us from the idea that you chant Hare Krishna to feel happy. We chant Hare Krishna to get free of sinful reactions. We chant Hare Krishna, because whatever, some other ulterior motive, or materialistically tinged purpose, but to free us of everything save and accept pure love. So that's Krishna's mercy. And if we can see it like that, instead of blaming everyone for our problems, or finding some excuse and justification or whatever it is, just take shelter of the holy name, take shelter of Krishna. Tatenu kompam svisamikshaman bunjani vatmakitali. Then we can make some tangible progress when we call out to Krishna, like a helpless child crying for its mother, not trying to protect itself. And there's a lot of stories we could tell you. Next one, we have one more. Bharat Saloke.
Hare Krishna. This is Balram Nitai Das. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for a nice class and enlivening us with the Chaitanya Leela. My question to you is thank you for enlightening, saying that BBT is publishing a book about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My difficulty in understanding Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva, and there is no example, right? Mayavadis explain the Aham Brahmasmi principle with the example of gold. The gold in the bracelet, the gold in the necklace, and gold in the tiara is same. So that way we have taken different name, forms, and services. But in the end, it's gold which will become one. So how do I understand Achinta Bheda Veda Tattva, like in that simple example? If you have heard anything, please share that. Thank you.
One word in that Achintya is inconceivable. Sure is. And Dr. Krishna Nabhadina Bhagavat, I mean, with material perception, certain things will not be fully understood. However, we can say, as an example, to a certain degree, yes, everything is a humble man. Everything is indeed spirit. The material world is just covered Brahman. It's not that it's not Brahman, it's just covered by, we say, the modes of nature, the material energies. And it looks otherwise, but it's actually eternal spiritual energy. It's the way we perceive it. Question of perception. Well, this is a very big topic, of course, the topic of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva, in a very simplistic way. Okay, maybe, probably just two examples. You could even take an atom. The atom, atomic atom, apparently merges. Simple example is a green bird merging into a green tree, but that's a rather gross example. But even an atom, when it's, let's say, combined in a particular situation, appears to have merged, still it maintains its own individual existence within that totality. We have our own existence within the totality. We're not going to get into this point of time into, let's say, logical debate on the subject matter. But each and every atom maintains its own individual identity, even though it's seemingly merged. Every drop of water, whatever a drop of water is, you can't really define it in terms of an area, but whatever the smallest definition of a drop of water is, maintains its own existence even in the ocean, though it appears to be. It's not like it loses its own existence. It's not homogeneous exactly. Even if it is homogeneous, still, the atomic structure is individually still composed, although unseen, you could say, or untraceable practically to the ordinary eye. It's still there. We can't see spirit, for starters. And secondly, inconceivability, the Achintya factor, so that without accepting certain things, and it's not the only thing which would be inconceivable, logically we can accept from the point of view of our total individualism at this present point of time. We're not gold, we're not iron, we're not water. They are material objects, just examples are given. There's a difference between coal and a conscious living entity, or gold. You can melt the gold and you can say it's all flowing. It's no longer a ring. You can, whatever, different examples can be given. Melt the ice, it's no longer separate water. But there's a difference. The living entity is a conscious living entity. And each and every one of us, every single conscious living entity is seeing everything differently. Automatically, there's a duality or a separatist existence there. We're not just dead entities. We're not just matter. We may be encased within matter. Our bodies are all different as well, and they all have everything different about them. There's no two bodies are the same. There's total variety there. We're made of the same energy, but total variety. But it's not so much the physical perception, which is the, let's say, the diversity. It's the actual nature of the living being, which is manifest in this world. Whatever we say, the material world is a reflection, a shadow, a dream, call it what you will, or whatever else calls it. Somehow or another, somebody is experiencing it independently, individually from each other. There's relationship there. Relationship with the material energy. If everything is all one, then there's nothing to be conscious of. There's no this is a reflection. What on earth is it a reflection of? If it's a dream, no one can have a dream without some original source. It may be a mumbled or jumbled dream, but it has its origins. You can't have a shadow without an object. It doesn't exist. It's just light. So we see shadow in this world. We see reflections. We dreaming, whatever it may be. Individuality is totally prominent in this world. And there's nowhere it describes the individuality. The energy, yes, but the individuality of the soul is destroyed. It remains, even in the Brahma Jyoti, by Krishna's arrangement. the coverings of his various energies do not allow the living entity to experience anything but the effulgence of the soul, the all-pervading effulgence. They cannot see. It's like in the sunlight. We cannot see that the sunlight is made up of numerous sun rays. Numerous. We just see sunlight, practically speaking. In this way, the living entities are existing eternally. This will go on, this Mayavadi and Brahmavadi and Vaishnava and so on, because the living entity wants that desire. You have that desire. If everything is all one, probably often say, then how on earth are you in this situation you're in now? What's happened? From where did the duality come to create what appears to even an apparent variety? It has no place in reality if everything is absolutely one. It's oneness because everything's spirit. Yes, that's true. Aham Brahmasmi. But it's also true that living entity is a conscious living entity, individual living entity. Both Lord Chaitanya's emphasized in his teachings to bring unity in diversity, so to speak. One time, like Jananda Maharaj was, I think Jananda Maharaj, I think so, one of the sannyasis, was went to the Himalayas, and there was one Mayavadi sannyasi, and they were talking about this subject matter, and it was very cold. And the Mayavadi sannyasi had a blanket. It was very cold. So the ISKCON sannyasi said, if it's all one, there's no difference between this tiny little thread of cotton and your blanket, right? There's no difference. You give me your blanket, I'll give you this tiny piece of cotton. It didn't take him long to realize it's not quite as easy as that. It's all one but different. You're all spirit, but there's variety in spirit. As there's variety in this material world, there's variety in its origin. What's the wrong with variety? The problem is the variety in this world brings a lot of distress, frustrations, birth and death, you name it. Unwanted experiences for the soul. Anartapashamam shakshat. They're really nothing to do with the soul. They're just identification crisis. Because we're identifying with this world, we experience the pain of identity. So when the identity is removed, properly situated, the pain is removed. We don't have to cut the arm off to cure the arm. The best thing is to cure it. Then one can experience one's actual nature. When the nature is painful, then it's not surprising people want to get rid of it altogether. Birth and death. Because we fail to really understand the nature of the self. The full nature of the self. We're not just spiritual entities, but we have a particular nature, which of course Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally was tasting rasa, the taste of rasa. Everyone's looking for rasa and become frustrated in this world, so give it up. Give it up. Relationships are painful. Objects of sense gratification turn painful or frustrating, or you lose it, you become morose and so on. Nature of this world. Samsara, up and down, suffering. So, because we're false identity. And unless we identify ourselves in our true identity, Iveshrupaya Nichara Krishna Das, and that will continue even in the Brahma Jyoti. What's that verse? Yenyeva Vindaksha Nartamanina goes on. 10th canto of Bhagavatam. If one rises up to the platform of Brahman, because it's not our permanently. Brahman is eternal, but it's not the nature of the soul to remain perpetually in that situation. There's no time frame, but it's not the permanent station of the jiva. We're not existing for that reason, to create light. Not the purpose. Light is to illuminate. Light is to show objects. So the light is there. That's not our ultimate character or ultimate constitution. is to bring pleasure to Krishna, rasa, to have loving relationships with Godhead. Just like in this world, it's not just to exist, it is to have relationships. And when they become frustrated, then we may turn to the Mayavadi if we're envious of God, if we're still envious. The whole point. Basically, Mayavad philosophy is the epitome of envy. Total denial of a relationship with a Godhead or the existence of such a being. So it's like the topmost form, although it's, you could say, more elevated in one sense spiritually, but it's like the topmost form of envy. They have this impersonal concept of Krishna or God. What to do? We're still envious. Unless we become free of envy, these things, we'll convince ourselves, we'll make sure, one way or another, we'll stick to it. Lord Chaitanya converted the Mayavadis of Varanasi and the Buddhists of South India and the monastic philosophy of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and others. He awoken them with different means. In fact, he awoken the Mayavadis in Varanasi first and foremost by his humility, by taking a very humble role, the whole trick to bring them around. Anyway, read carefully the 7th chapter of the Adi Lila and whatever chapter it is in the Madhya Lila that deals with this subject matter. The Atmaramas, Chamunayo, those verses are also there, of course. But it is, most of the Indian members of our congregation have probably been brought up with some mixed understanding, predominantly Mayavad understanding. Most of the preachers have at least some element of Mayavad. Most of the religions today are you can say, turning towards Mayavad because they have no concept of God, no clear concept of the soul. They declare their Acharya as God and things like this. This is indicative of Mayavadi influence, or that God is simply all-pervading light or love or something like that. Is devoid of personal relationship. Is missing, I'm afraid. Anyway, big topic. I'm not probably the best to convince anyone, but at least try to read carefully the 7th chapter of the Adi Lila and the verses in the Madhya Lila which deal with the topic of Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Well, I'm going to have to finish there. We're way over time. And
thank you so much, Maharaj.
Here. I had to drive about 4 kilometers to make this call, by the way. I've got to go back now. We had no internet where I'm staying.
Oh.
We had to, on a back of a motorbike, we went through the lanes of Mayapur to reach this accommodation where internet is available. Thank you for giving me that chance. Now we're going back. Srimati Devi Dasi has a hand up, but it's pretty late. I mean, I can take one if you want.
Make it quick, Srimati Mata. Go ahead.
Be quick.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to you, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's very nice to see you, Maharaj, on screen.
You can see me?
I can see you, yeah. I've switched on my video. I'm not sure if you can.
It's not me. I don't exist. It's all one.
Your words,
Yes.
Maharaj.
Yeah, you're the assistant.
It's not me. Anyway, it's only a picture. How can you say that's me?
Yeah, Maharaj. So I just wanted to, one gratitude-filled compliment for you. You have been chanting so many years and you have been enthusing many to chant. And with your mercy, a decade back at Priya Sakhi Mataji's house, I heard about the Holy Name Week chanting, 64 rounds a day for 1 week, continuous in a year. So since then, with your mercy, with Prabhupada's mercy, my Guru Maharaj's mercy, I'm able to at least maintain that 64 rounds. Wow, for that 1 week. So it's amazing, Maharaj. I like the point what you said about hearing uplift the consciousness. It's not just the chanting, but what we chant, we have to hear. But during the process, hearing uplifts the consciousness. That gets the transformation. That's what you mentioned. So I was just wondering, out of 16 rounds or 20 rounds one does, we may not be able to hear many of the times the mantra. Sometimes it would be mixed, sometimes it would be totally something different of what has happened yesterday night or what will happen today. So I was just wondering, Krishna's mercy is unconditional, so it would still help, right, Maharaj?
He's looking at your sincere endeavor. You can see that we're sincerely endeavoring. We're not just taking it for granted or just completely, offensive. We're trying at least. I like at our stage where we're kind of, you could say, in a mixed stage. We hope we are at least on some kind of something between offensive and pure. I mean, on the pure platform, there's no question of inattention. It's I mean, whoa. It's like a boy and a girl, if they really love each other, you can't get their attention if you try it, if they're together. They're so absorbed in each other. If somebody loves something, even a sport, somebody's watching American football, is that what you call it, or basketball or something, and they're really into it, you can't get their attention. Hey, get out of the way. Get out of the way. They're like crazy watching the match, And anything like that, anything we really love, we don't want to hear about anything else. We don't want to be distracted. So we're not on that level in relationship to Krishna. Maybe we are, but I'm not. But I like Bhagavan Prabhu Satyananda Maharaj's, mechanical as it may be, but it's quite helpful. We've been through our course a little bit. You sound like a very serious Vaishnavi. How just don't worry about the last round or the next mantra, but not round, the next mantra. Just try to hear the mantra. And the same principle for the next mantra. Don't think, oh God, another lousy mantra. Just try to, whatever happens, happened. You can't turn the clock back.
Yeah.
And you don't know but at least live in the present. The very mantra is on. If you one attentive mantra and you leave your body at that moment, you are a lucky girl. So try to do that best to be attentive to each mantra. But obviously the mind is like, it's the most powerful energy in this universe, the mind. It's so difficult to control. So hard to conquer. We can't conquer it. We try our best to channel it or to direct it towards the holy name, but it wanders, and as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, wherever it wanders.
And detachment.
Yeah. It's not us, it's not you. The mind isn't us. It's a subtle vehicle, which, some people sometimes say it has a mind of its own. It doesn't seem to be under our control at all. It just floats non-stop in every direction. Wild horse of the mind. And it is possible, Krishna says, by practice and detachment. So practice. Try to make a situation where your situation for chanting japa is the best you can make it, whatever that is. And just try to remember a few little points, whatever helps you. But I like that one of Bhagavan Prabhu and Satyananda Maharaj's meditation. It's not the mood of pure loving devotion, but it's an important step towards hearing holy name. And pray. If your attention, now there's another thing, one thing I try to always remember, the inattention, we realize that we're really helpless. And I mentioned Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it's impossible for the chief single-handedly overcome. The illusion of inattention is only a mercy of the Lord only. So pray for the Lord's mercy. Realize how little helpless we are and how powerful the material energy is. Try to surrender. Daivi Hishugunamai, try to surrender. The mind is one of Krishna's energies. It's not ours, it's one of his. We may be seeing what we're seeing because how we related to his energies over many lifetimes, and we get all these pictures. But still, it's not ours. We're watching like a horror movie or whatever it is in our minds, like watching the TV or a cinema or something. Minds like that in much, much more complex way. And we're watching and just take shelter of Krishna, save me. There's a beautiful prayer. Prabhupada said this should be only prayer. My dear Lord Krishna, please may I always chant your holy name. Please don't, I can forget any moment. Please always remind me to chant your holy name, whatever else happens. Keep chanting. Obviously, the secret is to keep chanting. That little effort we can try to keep reminding ourselves. Keep chanting, keep chanting, keep chanting.
Mm.
Even if it is distracted, at least keep chanting gradually, gradually, gradually. Hare Krishna. Okay, I got to sign.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you very much, Krishna Nam.
To remind us, I got Prabhupada said, one of the person comes into the room and he caught the collar and pushed him and said, "Is the cotton thread, cotton shirt is same?" Then he agreed. Until that, he was keep arguing about Mayavad, this and that. And when Prabhupada or his servant caught his collar and when he asked, "Cotton thread, cotton shirt is same?" Then no more arguments. He stopped there. Or at another time in Mayapur, I think somebody chanted, "Gurudev, Gurudev." Who's Gurudev? Which Gurudev? Stop it. Immediately stop it. So it's amazing. You use Prabhupada example. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
When we're living it, it becomes easy. When we're still on the borderline, of course, these things are a little hazy. But when it's actually living, it's obvious. When we've touched the darshan, when one's seen the truth, then there's no question of being hazy. People won't agree. Kali Yuga, even if there is logic and reason, even if there's shastric statements, even whatever it may be, people will not agree. That's the nature of Kali Yuga. They're very obstinate and very unsubmissive mostly. But anyway, that's why it takes time. That's why in the beginning of ISKCON, Prabhupada was preaching a lot about Mayavad. Nobody knew what Mayavad was. And I wondered what he one time thought the Prabhupada had a problem with some group in India or something. He keeps telling him how dangerous these Mayavadis are. You have to defeat this Mayavad philosophy. They didn't have a clue what Prabhupada was talking about. And one day said, Prabhupada, Swamiji in those days, I mean, these Mayavad, what is this, some group in India or something? I mean, what's it got to do with this here? I mean, what's this Mayavad group here? And Prabhupada said, no. But who are the Mayavadis? And Prabhupada said to him, you are a Mayavadi. He said to his own follower, you're a Mayavadi. So we all got this Mayavadi influence, very strong in the West. And the Beatles, I am you and you are me and we are all together. All these songs that were being showered on the innocent youth of the day. This all-pervasive oneness, the cosmic oneness. And, these crazy things. No one ever achieves it. It's just a dream, you could say. A nice philosophy to avoid surrendering. If people don't want to surrender, then Krishna gives them a philosophy which convinces them there's no one to surrender to anyway. There isn't anyone. And we know very well from the comments about certain scholar on the Bhagavad Gita, Manmano Bhava Manvakto Sagadama preaching is not to Krishna you have to surrender, it is the unborn, all-pervasive one within him. All these types of Krishna says, man, unto me, and say unto the Brahman. Anyway, what can you do? That's the material world. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Haribol Maharaj, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Kripa Sindhubhye
Hare Bol Maharaj.
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Well, get those books out there.
Yes. Yes, Maharaj.
Philosophy.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Quick announcements.
Hare
9 to
Bol,
11.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
9 to 11, Priya Saka Prabhu need help at temple. Please help if possible. I know snow is going to start. We have book distribution now. I'm late already, 9:30, 10:30 at Edison Oak Tree Hotel next to Hilltop. And upcoming March 3rd is Gaur Purnima, Tuesday, fasting till moonrise, and then Ekadasi, followed by cooking will start, I think, 12 or 1. Jay Prakash will be back from India. Time, please help in that service. That weekend, before that, we'll have cleaning, altar cleaning, dome cleaning, community hall, depending on how many will show up for service. We can do deeper cleaning, at least some level of cleaning. That is always important before Gaur Purnima, before Janmashtami. More we clean, more we can feel the presence of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Prabhupada. So more we don't, more we cannot get that full mercy. It gets choked up. So it all depends on all of us, what we want to do and how we want to do. So that is Ekadasi on February 27th. Ekadasi, fasting from grains and beans. 28th will be Govinda Dadasi, very important day for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Madhavendra Puristarobha. So those are the upcoming announcements. Let us get ready for Gaur Purnima. And that week also Amarendra Prabhu is coming Thursday evening at Harikishore Prabhu's house, 7 to 9. That is March 5th, Thursday. And then March 8th at Sunday, 2 sessions, 4 to 6 p.m. 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. So please join, take the nectar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, and we can all practice what Maharaj quoted, that verse Amarendra Prabhu quotes regularly. Evam swa nama priya kitya jatanurago drudha chitta uche. He quotes that regularly because that is the most important thing, to chant and get to that experience of bhava and prema. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. Sunday feast is online, virtual. Madhupati Prabhu had posted. Please try to utilize that and take the association online. And things are not in our favor, what can you do? govindasnj.com, you can place your orders for any program or anything, any events. So yeah, those are the announcements. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.